But yeah, I know it's a difficult conversation to have. One of the reasons why addressing racism is so hard is because who knows who to blame for this stuff? There's not one clear person. Even nowadays, I've never seen white people so divided. Left, right, alt-left, super left, liberal. It's going crazy. I mean, to most of us, it's still all white. But nowadays, on social media, there's white people who don't like being called white. And these might be the people I now have a problem with. Because there was a time where if you were a person of color, you knew what a racist looked like. Like, even when we close our eyes and we think about a typical racist, you imagine a bald guy with tattoos that are going green, and he only drinks at Irish pubs in Spain. And he starts every conversation with like, I'm not being funny, but... right? That's what we think a racist looks like. But the thing is, this has been deliberately created to make you think that white working class people are the ones that have the power to oppress you, which is not true, because they're almost equally oppressed. You go past Birmingham, you'll see how working class white people live. It's not great. But this whole idea has been suggested that these people are responsible for racism, when really the most they can be responsible for is racial rhetoric. They can say stuff to you, but they can't make it happen. Like, working class white people might tell you to go back to where you came from, but it's the middle class white people in government that orchestrated the Windrush scandal, and the same middle class people that have only compensated 4% of those victims. So you need to know who your real enemy is. In the same way that working class white people might accuse you as a black person for having a gun. But make no mistake, it's the middle class people in government that are the reason why you are 7 times more likely to be stopped and searched as a black person, and the people that leave out the fact that the reason why guns or handguns are illegal in this country is because a paedophile called Thomas Hamilton walked into a school in Dunblane and killed innocent children. It's got nothing to do with black people. Sorry, guys. So fuck Operation Trident. You know why? Because black people have only made one gun. A man called Lonnie Johnson invented the Super Soaker and the Nerf system. Which means if it was down to black people, when you got shot, it would only leave you soft and wet. Just the way we like it, fellas. All right. Ridiculous. I gotta bring this up because, like I said, this has stalled the conversation, this idea that only poor white people are racist. When really, we have a real new issue, which are liberals. Liberals have created this oppression Olympics, and they're very subversive because when someone is overt and racist, you can see that, because they'll be like, oh, what, black people? Whereas liberals are kind of like, oh, what black people? And you guys can see the difference. You know, you'll hear liberal people say things like, well, you know, violence doesn't solve anything. If you check how much your country spends on fucking defense budgets, you can see it really does work, actually. You know, it's even when people say stuff like, you know, I only eat plant-based food. Well, you should be happy that you get to choose what you eat every fucking day, because not everyone in the world has that privilege. And I say this because whenever you broach the conversation of oppression with so-called liberals, they go, there's no need to shout, I don't need all that aggression. And can I just say, speaking as a person of color, we don't like that word anymore, because we know what it really means, especially me. You know why? A couple years back, I did Countdown. Not bragging, just saying. But I worked something out when you are accused of aggression as a black person. Because if you rearrange the letters in the word aggression, it actually spells, a nigger, SOS! So, when you accuse us of aggression, I know what you really mean. Because I've been watching it for a long time, and I've been watching people from different parts of dominant culture passing this hot potato of racial hatred. You know, a lot of comedians, when I started doing comedy, would be like, oh, I love everybody. Racism, I don't even see color. Well, how are you working as an observational comedian if you can't fucking see color? And then they'll go on and say, I'm not racist, but my nan can be a little bit racist, suggesting as if because something happened in the old days, it's acceptable. I don't think that's the case. I think it was never acceptable, and if you really want to address the issue, kill your nan. Kill your fucking nan. I don't give a fuck. I'll boot your nan in the pussy on Christmas Day. You don't see colour, I don't see age. How about that? Fuck that shit. Did that seem too angry to you? Yeah, well, I'll slap your nan's tits over her shoulder too. How about that?